I hope you brought a towel because you are about to enter the splash zone. Wow! Does Bitcoin have enough juice this week to get one final attempt, one final push above this 2.5-year resistance? We will show you on a few different charts why that could be possible, and exactly on the charts where we will get bearish if we break that level. Guys, the sentiment is growing so bullishly, and once this rocket ship takes off, you are not going to want to be on the ground. Are we potentially going to actually see a true breakout out of the symmetrical triangle, but more importantly on these bigger time frames, a true breakout of the past 2.5 years? We will dive into that data. And guys, just weeks ago, some top analysts were predicting we might be able to break like 14K. Now they're changing their tune. 20K this year, even potentially 28,000 US dollars this year. Guys, we'll talk about what possibilities that could hold, what the chances of that are happening, and why in some sort of crazy event we could actually push higher than that in the next 6 months. And as well, we'll go over exactly why miners selling Bitcoin may actually be really bullish, because there's a fundamental reason why psychologically that actually hints at Bitcoin being stronger than ever. If you believe in the juice, you gotta let it loose. Let's do this. Wow, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another extremely Bitcoin webisode. We have a ton to get into today, And in fact, as I'm recording this, the market is potentially showing some signs that this run isn't over, okay? We have a week left, I would say, where we would want to hug the top of this line. And again, guys, I think the pressure just coming from this entire community is huge. I think the timing is perfect. We've paid our dues over 900 days in this downtrend, far longer than the previous cycle. Guys, I just think everything is primed, and I want to go over something really important here as well in regards to my own portfolio and my own kind of approach to the market. So guys, if you want to enter to win this ledger, make sure to smash the comments, the dings, turn on the likes and subscribes. Wow, and I forgot to mention yesterday's video, this is the last day to get $45 off of T4. We added the charts we use in these videos to the course as well, but specifically there's like 6 other things that I got requested to be added to the course, so I'll go over those at the end if you want to hear what they are. So before we really delve into these, I just want to talk about this really briefly here. It was a tweet that I posted. I'm just extremely convinced that this market's going to go absolutely nuts, and my biggest fear by far is not investing everything that I want to in time. Obviously there's time right now, so you might be saying, why don't you just invest it all right now? After I did this tweet, I actually did go ahead and invest in about 4 other altcoins that I've already been invested in. One I actually hadn't invested in since 2017. The other 3 I've been kind of investing in weekly and monthly. But after I tweeted this, I got some comments and I just thought, you know what, Tyler, stop being a baby and just, put more in so you don't have that regret. But Kevin here did have a good point. He said he has the same problem. He's been going heavy in the market, but he still feels like it isn't enough. And I think even if I did invest everything that I had, I probably would still think it's not enough. Fear of missing out is one of the biggest factors when it comes to investing, period, whether it's crypto or anything. Fear of missing out is such a strong psychological factor, guys. When you see that price pumping and you're invested, but maybe you didn't invest as much as you wanted or could have, or potentially you didn't invest at all, when you see that price pumping, it is so hard, especially for people that are new to the space, to not immediately want to just be like, you know what, throw it in, I'm going to put the money in. That is objectively a worse time to invest than when things are cooled and obviously lower in price, just because the upside is a lot better when people aren't as bullish and you get in earlier, obviously. But there's not a single doubt in my mind that this space is going to be explosive, whether it's a month from now, whether it's 6 months, 12 months from now. Overall, I don't really care too much in that difference between a month from now or 12 months from now. It is definitely a very important topic. Psychology is probably by far the biggest factor when it comes to investing. Wow, so guys, let's take a look at this chart here. Symmetrical triangle, currently we're still getting a bounce above that. We held on the daily, the 21 daily moving average, where we bounced right here. We bounced right there, but then we also wicked down to that 9,200. Guys, we'll just cut to the chase here. To the downside, because I've been saying this the last few days, if we break 8,800, then I think we're going to go a lot lower. Okay, if we break it and we fall significantly below that, we do have the 50-day moving average basically right there as well, so that could provide some short-term support. But it's not the strongest daily moving average. The 21 and the 200 I think are a lot stronger also. And the 200 is also right around that $8,000 level, which if we broke 88, the first pullback target would be around that $8,000 level, potentially all the way down to 7,400. And guys, I really don't expect us to go much lower than that. But if we did, by far my furthest pullback target is actually around 5,400. One of the reasons for that is because that's basically right down here on this symmetrical triangle for the past 2.5 years. And let's just say if we break 5,400 and go bearish, which I highly doubt, I can't stress that enough, then we would be potentially setting new lows for the past 2.5 years, which again, we have a lot of room. We're at the very top. The market's doing the exact opposite of that, meaning it's doing extremely well. So we would only have that bias if things started to go south. And believe me, I think we would have plenty of time in the meantime to be able to analyze and predict that if that were to be the case. Even in like the biggest percent drop by day in history, March 12th, it still went from, what was this, like 8,000 all the way down to 3,800, over 50% losses in like basically instantly. Even then, we had a massive bounce recovering like 40% in the same day, basically. So again, I'm leaning very bullish right now, and objectively, why would I be leaning very bullish? Because we're above every single massive indicator, and we're testing the major breakout point for the entire, basically last 3 years of the market. So bearish, as long as we hold above 88, that's a very good sign, I would say. But currently, again, guys, we're still aiming kind of towards an upside target here. And also on this chart, this perfectly lines up with this. So for a true breakout, what we want to do is break this level right here, guys. 10,300. You saw we bounced at this 6-year structure line. We're floating in between here. And if we break out of this entire channel for the past 2 months, what we would need to hit is the 10,386, 10,400 roughly. Every day that goes by, it gets a little higher. But I mean, that's basically right in the same exact area where this market's been struggling to break above for the past 6+ months specifically, going all the way back to like November, October, actually like 9 months now, where we've had 3 tops every time we have a massive push. We keep hitting that same area. And now, again, time's running out because this sloping resistance is still into play, obviously, so it gets lower and lower over time. But overall, if we break bullishly out of this pattern, then I think things are going to skyrocket. We had not broken out of this level except for back at the beginning of May. And exactly where we found that resistance was literally just right around like 10,000 US dollars. So this time, if we break out of this resistance here, it will be basically breaking right out of this entire 2.5-year downtrend. So if we break out of this here, we're going to be breaking out of this, which is huge, because back here, when we broke out here about a month ago, it didn't break us above that. We were right here. I mean, we peaked our head in like a wick, but for the most part, that push only pushed us to the top of this triangle here. And really, same story on this weekly chart. You can see 5 weeks now where we've getting pushed down at this Fibonacci level, the golden pocket here. So again, if we break out of here, which would line up with this chart, and also lines up with this chart, guys, if we break out of there, then things get absolutely bullish. A lot of these key moving averages have been holding, so again, that's why I still think it's important to be bullish right now. If we swing the other way, we'll know, so we can switch our bias pretty quickly if that would happen. But again, even with some liquidations, manipulations right here we got a few days ago, I mean, the momentum still looks like it wants to push up, and we've been in that same pattern for the entire month now, going all the way back to the very beginning of May. So the entire month of May, we've been setting higher lows and lower highs, and that's a bullish consolidation, usually testing this level, guys. So overall, the momentum is still extremely bullish. Now, I want to talk about this article published on CoinDesk by Omkar Godbol. So Bloomberg analysts are predicting 20K. So I'm just going to run through like 1 or 2 key points here real briefly. The bold prediction of 20K is largely based on the fact that price action seen in the last 2.5 years looks similar to patterns over the last 2.5 years. So this is kind of common sense. Myself and like most people in the space talk about this a lot. But yeah, I mean, overall, if we zoom out and we go to like the BLX chart, you can see this pattern is identical to the one we had back in 2013 that blew up and led us all the way to eventually 20K all-time highs. So that's what he's referencing here. The next thing he says, after 2014, 60% decline. By the end of 2016, the crypto matched the peak. Fast forward 4 years, and the second year after, we had a 75% decline. It's actually taken a lot longer so far, so we're way overdue, in my opinion. We've definitely put in our dues in terms of how long a bear market could last. Macro factors here. This year is increasingly favorable technically and fundamentally for Bitcoin. Open interest and open positions in futures listed on the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is considered synonymous with institutions and macro traders, and it's increased by over 500% this year. So in 2017, I'm not sure if you guys remember, if you were around back then, in 2018 specifically, we were all talking about we need to get institutions involved. We want to get big money. We want to get legitimate players in the space involved, and that is exactly what this shows. This has happened exponentially in the past 2 years. So that has happened. So that's another reason to be bullish. It says here, put simply, demand looks to be outstripping supply, and that is a classic factor driving prices higher. And then Omkar posted another article here on CoinDesk, and this is about why miners selling Bitcoin could actually be bullish. So we can sum it up here. Basically, miners hold when the market is weak, not because they are bullish, but because the market can't take it. When they can sell, it is an indication that the market is well supported. ByteTree founder and chairman Charlie Morris is quoted as saying that, who added the MRI is currently high. So, however, the conventional wisdom could be challenged because miners mainly operate on cash, meaning they need to liquidate their holdings almost daily to fund the cost of mining. This is evident from the fact that miners account for the highest percentage of total Bitcoin flowing into exchanges. And to end it here, miners therefore would want to sell less in a market lacking the strength to absorb their offers. On the contrary, they would be inclined to sell more when the upward momentum is strong. A break below 8,800 we'll see more aggressive selling. And I highlighted that only because I 100% agree with that. And I've been saying that specific target for like 2 weeks. So I 100% agree with that target as well. If you break 8,800, it's going to go lower, I think. Huge. So make sure to leave your comment, guys, for the ledger. And the last thing I want to go over for people already enrolled in T4 who have sent me requests for some updated material, and people that aren't even have just asked these questions. And I want to go over a few of them here. So some things we're going to be adding here is kind of how to exit when you want to sell. There are some key things you have to know and you have to do, because say, like a year from now, you are really happy with your position and you want to convert it into something else like your currency or whatever it is. We're going to kind of go over, make a video about that, how to do that and how to do it effectively. Also, the difference between like the importance of risk reward in trading, how liquidations work is the third one there. Trading pairs and how to know which trading pairs to trade into, the absolute importance of diversifying. And then the last thing, somebody had a request to know specifically what I'm buying, when I'm buying, and what I'm selling and when I'm selling. So I thought about how that could work, because I definitely don't want to give like my exact what I'm buying and this and that, because I don't want to be liable for anything like that, and I just don't think it would be right, period, and I wouldn't want to do that. But I was thinking I might just be able to post weekly, maybe coins that I have been interested in. But yeah, we will see. We have a lot of videos to get uploaded this week. We have the charts up, and today's the last day for $45 off, guys. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Peace.